Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and you guys have been blowing up my inbox, and I'm actually quite surprised. People have been wanting more 2018 Ford Raptor, and if you look through my playlist at that in-depth review list, I have done two already Ford Raptor reviews. One was a Ruby Red 2018, did that one solo, and then the second one is a versus the old Raptor versus the new. Well, guess what? I'm back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida. They have stepped up to the plate once again. They know that the viewers of Raiti's Rides have been asking for another Raptor, and they've given me one awesome example right behind me. But anyways, let me just give you a little bit of background about the Raptor. Raptor is going to be that F-150 that has had everything, including the kitchen sink, thrown at it. With that in mind, you're going to have that beefed up suspension. You're going to have that raised level of performance. And that's one of the big things for the Ford Raptor compared to the older generation is that this one shed that V8 and it took on the EcoBoost, that twin turbocharged 3.5 liter V6, putting out 450 horsepower. That, I'm telling you, is really going to open up your eyes to what Ford is doing at the end of the day at that engineering level. But anyways, let's take a look at this Ford Raptor. So right off the bat, I absolutely love the direction that Ford went in with the front grille area. I love the way they have the Ford Prominent right there, the hexagonal grille. You could see the three extra lights. Now, when it comes to these lights, one of the reasons why you see these three lights on a Raptor is that this truck is actually wider than your standard F-150. It's actually wider than 40 inches. And according to the Department of Transportation, when a truck is that wide, it must have running lights in the front of the vehicle. Now, what I've liked with the new generation Raptor is that they've blended them nicely into the grille area. On the older Raptor, the first gen, they took them and had them sitting up top. So a little bit of a different look, but I'm really liking the way they cleaned up the front. Another thing I want to show you is I really love the LED setup here that they're running with the headlights. Very, very clean, very, very aggressive look. You could see the open front bumper here. And it just, this thing screams Baja 500. And that's what Ford did was, before they even sold the original Raptor, that first generation Ford Raptor, they actually entered it in the Baja 500 and won its class. So this is the type of stuff that Ford's doing is that they're making vehicles that you could drive every single day. But yet, if you want to take this thing off road and see what it could do, you have that ability. But very, very aggressive. I'm going to go ahead and have Chris, my camera guy, show you the hood. I really, really like the direction that they went with the hood. You have the single heat extractor up top. That's going to help pull that hot air from underneath the hood. This also has the optional stripe kit on it. I really, really like the stripe kit that they're putting on it. It's not too obnoxious, and it gives it enough dimension to it to really break up the sea of blue, because there's a lot of blue here. Another thing, if Chris could show you, is just look at how wide this front end comes out. It's really, really aggressive, and I like that about this truck. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the truck here. You could see these off-road capable wheels and tires that they have set up here. So you're looking at a 17-inch wheel, and then you could see just 70 series tires on it. Very, very wide, very aggressive for going off-roading. This features special Fox Racing Shock suspension setup, which is going to be something from the factory. It's not something you have to add. And then if Chris can demonstrate his skills, deep within inside this wheel well, you'll see that silver item there. That is one of the turbos. Remember, 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. That is the EcoBoost. I know some of you are probably grumbling. At the end of the day, guys, this truck is a little over 5,000 pounds, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. This has that wonderful 10-speed automatic to get the job done. And I'm telling you, it's mind-blowing. I really like the flaring of the fenders, and I like this functional scoop on the side to help bring out some of that airflow from the front and underneath the engine compartment. Chris is going to show you just how really aggressive it is. I like the way that they did it. It doesn't look cheap. It looks very purposeful. These are Ford Raptor specific running boards. They've been powder coated to take that beating, And this is just another thing when you're getting in and out of the truck, you don't have to add it. And that's what I like about this truck. You buy it right off the lot, you go home and you could go off-roading or whatever and enjoy it. And you could add things to it because that's what cars are all about and trucks are all about, is adding that personality. But you got a great base to start with. This obviously is going to be that crew cab setup. I really like the larger cab setup with the 4 doors. And I'm telling you right now, if you have not sat in one of these Ford Raptors, it is a lap of luxury. Enough so to challenge Audi, BMW, and a lot of the other manufacturers out there. Let's continue our way down the side. There's the second part of the striping kit, the nice Raptor on the side. I like the way that they did this Raptor graphic compared to the first generation. First generation was a little bit more widespread, a little bit more overly aggressive. Some people called it obnoxious, but this one is very clean, very clear, and it lets you know that this is something special. If Chris could then pan down here, obviously from the back end, there's those Fox Racing suspension that I was telling you about from the factory. So that's what makes this vehicle extra special. It's not just what's under the hood. It's not just these amazing off-road tires and wheels, but it's also the suspension that the truck is sitting on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back. To wrap it up, out back, I really like what Ford did with taking the Ford emblem and just stretching it across. It's all blacked out with the F-150. I like this bumper, and I really, really love the twin exhaust outlets. Very, very aggressive look. I don't know if you remember with the first generation Raptor, it came out the side. Here's one of my favorite things about this truck is that when you take out the key fob, which is here's your Raptor key fob, and you want to go ahead and open up the back, push of the button, there you go. And now here's one of my favorite things. You want to get in the back of the truck? Listen, they got you covered. The Ford engineers figured it out. You go like that. You're now going to pull out a nice step. You're wondering, okay, what do I have to do next? Check it out. 1, 2, 3, and you're in the back of the Ford Raptor. Lots of space back here. It comes with the liner already sprayed into the bed. It's going to give you that protection that you need over the long haul. I don't know about you, though. The back of this truck is amazing. Being in this bed is amazing. What about underneath that hood? Let's go check out that EcoBoost V6, 450 horsepower. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, here we are underneath the hood of this beast, this 2018 Ford Raptor. There's the heart, that 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6. Whenever you hear turbocharge in Ford speak, that's an EcoBoost motor. 450 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. But here's the great news. You're actually going to get some pretty decent fuel economy out of this. Driving it around, you'll get about 15, 16 miles per gallon in the city. And on the highway, you'll actually do even a little bit better than that. But check out how Ford has done the work and put the engine low in the chassis, a little further back. Obviously, with the setup on it, they do have to have a lot of extra tubing because of the twin turbochargers. But I'm telling you, they have done their homework in engineering this vehicle so that you can get the most out of it. But anyways, this engine is great. Hearing all these numbers are great. I know you're getting ready for a little spin, but before we do that, let's go ahead and let's check out the inside of this truck, because I'm telling you, if you haven't been in one of these, it's going to surprise you. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we're inside this 2018 Raptor, and like I promised you, this thing is a lap of luxury. Check out the door panels. This one has that carbon fiber package that can be added. You can see the carbon fiber right by the door pull. It's got really nice weave to it. Very nice look. I like the leather on the armrest with the contrast stitching. Very, very nice touch. Check out the lower sill panel when you come in. It says Ford Performance. Remember, the Ford Raptor is part of a sub-brand brand within Ford known as the Ford Performance brand. When you purchase this vehicle, free of charge, what Ford will provide to you is actually a 2-day event at their racing academy. You're not going to race it on the road course out in Salt Lake City, Utah, but they're going to show you some off-roading trails, and the full capability of this vehicle. And it's all included with the price of the truck, which I really like seeing stuff like that because that's Ford catering to the enthusiast. You just need to get yourself out there. And no, you don't bring your truck, you get to use their truck. Check out these seats. Very comfortable. I really like the leather. I like the way they went with a black with the silver gray as well. It really breaks it up. I like the Raptor embroidery right here on the back of the seat, and these seats are fully ventilated and heated. So they got you covered on those cold days up north or down here right now in the summertime where it feels like it's 100 degrees. So they have it covered both ways. Why don't I have my camera guy, Chris, come on in so we can show you the rest of the front end of the business side up here in the Ford Raptor. So I really like the dash setup. Ford went and did some nice soft materials. There are a couple places around the AC vents, around the infotainment system that are a little harder plastic, but I think there's really no which way around that. The way everything is laid out, it's very, very nice. I love the navigation, the My Connect system that Ford uses. It's got the Apple CarPlay, it's got the Android Auto. The navigation is very quick, very easy to use, very visible. Let me show you something real cool. When you press this button here, it actually now has access to a camera out the front and also a camera showing 360 around the truck. And if you keep pressing, so there's a nice panoramic view on the front end of the business. Now, what is important about this is not just when you're going to get your groceries, but if you're taking this off-road and say you're going to go over a little bit of a crest and you don't know what's out in front of you, this is going to help you see. I like stuff like that. That's really smart engineering, I really think. And then you just bring it right back to the navigation. You'll see that there are a lot of buttons. So there's a lot of buttons here. There's a lot of buttons here. And I think that's one of those things that when you first look at it, you might say to yourself, am I going to get used to that? But I think with ownership of this car after a few months, you'll get to know these buttons very easily. But everything is very easily marked. And I do like the way there is a separation between the radio controls and the AC controls. Here's the controls for your heated and fully ventilated seats. As you can see, I want a little bit of coolness on me, and so does Chris. And that's why we got the AC on the seats. There's your AC controls. More carbon fiber. I really, really like this carbon fiber. You're able to slow down the blower in here. This is where inside you have some nice space here. You have two USB jacks for your different phones or whatever equipment you're using. They have a lot of little places to put things. So you could actually take your phone and put it here. And even if you had a larger phone, like a plus size phone, you got your two cup holders. I really, really like the shifter. Now, I love the carbon fiber. That's part of that carbon fiber package. And I like the leather boot with the accent stitching here. One thing I'm not a fan of is this black plastic around here. It's very hard, and I don't know, there's just something about the font or something going on here. I wish they could have just done a little bit more, but I am being nitpicky because this truck really is a great truck. This does have, like I said, the full ability to shift into go from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive, and it's got the ability to back up the truck to hitch up your your camper, your boat, whatever, where you could just use this knob here, which is a very nice feature as well. Steering wheel. I am in love with this steering wheel. It feels like a steering wheel out of a Mustang GT or something. I love the size of it. It's a nice round steering wheel. I like the way that they put the leather red trim here. This is to let you know where top dead center is, so that when you're maneuvering the steering wheel, you'll always know where top dead center is. Here's something that I really, really just wish more cars, especially high-end cars, would have. If you're going to have an automated gearbox, why not make these levers like you see here, the paddles out of metal, like on the Raptor? I don't know if you saw my review. I did a almost $200,000 Audi R8. It had plastic paddles for manual shifting. These have these wonderful aluminum pieces, great size, great feel to them. Really love it. I'm going to have Chris show you the dash area. I do like on the Raptors where you have analog, tachometer, and speedometer, but then you have some digital gauges across the top, your oil temperature, your coolant temp, obviously fuel, all that good stuff. I like to see that mixture of information because this is a high performance truck. You got to be able to have that information on the fly. And another thing I like with the Ford steering wheel is I like having all the controls on the steering wheel. compared to a bunch of levers sticking out. So this is for your cruise control. You have, I'm going to have Chris pan back, different driving modes. You have terrain mode. Here, let me go ahead and press that. Terrain mode. You have sport, weather, mud, sand. As you can see, when I put in the mud and sand, it went into four-wheel drive, Baja mode. You ready to enter that Baja 500? Ford has you covered. So you could actually go rock crawl. It's really, really nice the way Ford has you covered for whatever you're going to be doing, whether you're going to be driving on the street, picking up the kids, getting the groceries, going to the movies, or if you're going to be off-roading. Let me show you something that's just going to blow your mind. Every time I look at this, I'm just like, I can't believe the amount of space. Ford's got you covered. If you like a center console that could fit almost a small human in here, they got you covered. Look at the size of this. Here's my arm in this deep center console. Lots of storage space here. Lots of different things that you could put and set up. And then it's got the nice tray that you could put things here. I'm going to have Chris pan up to the top. Here's another thing I like that Ford's doing. They set you up with six auxiliary switches. So if you want to add lighting, if you want to add different things to your truck and make it more personal to you, instead of having to figure out where you're going to wire in a switch, they got you covered with 6 of them. So you can have a total of 6 additional things set up for this truck. Let's go ahead. We're going to check out the back seat because normally I don't do this, but the back seat of this truck is pretty amazing. Let's go check it out. All right, guys. So we're in the back seat of this Ford Raptor. Like I told you before, I'm 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, lots of room. The leather is really wonderful, same type of material as the front seats. Let me show you, it does have rear air for the passenger, also rear cup holders. And then if you look here, you have nice outlets to plug whatever you need in. You got your USB ports, very nicely done. The one thing I wish that they had here were actually controls to change the climate back here, because I would like a little bit more blower speed, but I can't do that, and the only way to do that is from up front. So that's probably the one thing that maybe for the next generation Raptor, I would like to see Ford do that. One thing that's really cool is that you have a very nice armrest here, all leather. There's your cup holders. I'm telling you, Ford really thinks it through. I know so many manufacturers that take the plastic cup holders and stick them in the armrest. Here, they have them hidden. It's really nice. And then another feature that you don't see on a lot of trucks is a power sliding rear window. And I like the way it's really integrated. Very nice touch. And that's what really makes this truck extra special, is that not only is it about performance, not only is it about the off-road capability, but also what's going on in the interior of the truck. If you're ready, I'm ready to take this for a spin. All right, guys, we're inside this 2018 Ford Raptor, and I'm about to roll out from Walker Ford here in sunny Clearwater, Florida. Like I said, if you have not been behind the wheel of one of these, it's definitely going to surprise you because of how it acts like a pussycat when you're driving down the road. One thing I like to do is automatically shut off that auto start stop. That's a feature that this vehicle has, like a lot of other vehicles, to help with that fuel economy rating at the end of the day. But very docile when you want it to be, but you press the accelerator, and I'm telling you, that 10-speed automatic really gets you going. And the EcoBoost motor, I know there are still some of you that are still saying, I want the 6.2 liter V8 out of the first gen Raptor. And I understand where you're coming from, but I'm telling you, get to a dealership like Walker Ford and take one of these for a test drive. It's gonna make you a believer in how sometimes change is a good thing. But right off the bat, I love the seating position in these Raptors. I love the padding in the seat. It's not overly padded to where you're just like sitting around almost like on a waterbed, but it's got enough to where you're gonna be comfortable. And I really like the bolstering that allows you to stay in the seat, because remember, if you are gonna take this off-road, you're gonna wanna be held in that seat, but obviously the amount of times that people go off-road maybe is not on a regular basis, so you don't want too much bolstering. So it's really a balance that Ford and the engineers had to do. Here I am just cruising 40 miles an hour. The way that the 10-speed works, it's really effortless. I'm about to pass a vehicle here. It drops down very quickly. That's probably the biggest thing that I've noticed between the new Raptors
and the first generation Raptors is that because this has that wonderful 10-speed automatic, is that it doesn't have to really, there's not a lot of delay when it goes down to the next lowest gear to get you going. Whereas with the 6.2 liter Raptor, there is a little bit of a delay. Even around this nice little bend here, very stable. I really like the work that they did with the suspension. And you know, Fox is one of those companies that's well known in the off-roading industry. Just like when you talk about brake calipers and you say the word Brembo, there's just certain names where those are names that are trusted. They've done the engineering, they've done you know, time and time again on racetracks or on off-road courses to get you that reliability and that performance that you expect. Really nice with how everything is positioned with armrests. So if you're just sitting at a light like we are right now, it's very comfortable. I love the layout of the gauges. Like I said earlier, I like the way they're doing a mixture of the analog with the digital. The AC controls, in the beginning, it might be a little cumbersome because of how many buttons there are, but I'm telling you, just filming at Walker Ford today, I've been able to figure it out, and I think you'll have just as much ease with it as well. But you have wonderful visibility out the front, the back, and the sides, and I'm telling you, people look, they notice when you're driving down this truck, and it's not just the blue color, which it is a wonderful blue, but they notice that this truck is something a little extra special. And that's what I'm always a big fan of, is I'm a fan of when manufacturers can take their standard vehicles and then do some trickery, some magic that they've learned along the way, and then you wind up with something extra special, and that's what I like. All right, so we're going around another little right-hand bend here. Like I said, you press the accelerator, that 10-speed really goes through, and you're not really feeling the shifts. It's not like it's trying to search through the gearbox, trying to find you the perfect shift. It's almost like it knows exactly where it needs to be at the right time. So it's almost like this intuitive thing between your right foot and that gearbox. And one thing I just want to point out is, yes, the new Mustangs also, if you're going the automatic route, have a 10-speed automatic. It is a little different. It's not 100% the same setup as in the Raptor. Obviously with different gearing and whatnot that's going to be needed for a truck compared to a car. But it is a very well thought out, wonderfully engineered. And I think the funny thing in all this is the big huge thing between Ford and Chevy. You know, Ford and General Motors, Chevy in particular, have always been arch rivals. This 10-speed was actually designed between Ford and General Motors. So that's just something that is nice to see, where other companies can aid one another when designing different equipment for the vehicles. I really think at the end of the day, what this truck is about is just giving you that really excellent feeling that you expect to have from something like this, but it also allows you to drive it every day. And that's always been my hang up, is a lot of the cars that I really love, they don't really necessarily turn into the best daily drivers. This thing, I'm telling you, you can drive it every single day and not have to be concerned about it being cumbersome or you know, being too heavy duty into the whole Baja thing, where it's going to be a rough ride or terrible gas mileage. It's just a really well engineered total package, and I like that. Another thing that I like too is when you're going around a turn, yeah, you're going to feel a little bit of body movement because of the suspension that we're sitting on and the tire setup that's on this, but it's all controllable. There's not a time where you're like, whoa, that's a little too much. It's all very well done and packaged, and I really am enjoying that about the Raptor. And I'm telling you, you guys keep asking for these Raptor reviews, I will keep doing more, because for me, this is one of the great pleasures of doing the YouTube channel that I enjoy, is being able to drive these amazing vehicles. And just this one is just another one added to the list. If you have not seen my comparison between a 2018 Raptor and the first generation Raptor, I highly recommend. I will actually put that video at the end of this one. So if you see that, you'll see that box pop up on the screen. Click on that and you'll be able to then see the comparison between the 6.2 liter and the 3.5 EcoBoost. All right, here we are. I just want to show you again the acceleration of this truck. I'm doing about 28 miles an hour. You go ahead, you press on the gas, the boost starts to come in, and it's just a really, really pleasurable experience. What's cool too is that it actually shows you, like right now, I'm in 8th gear. And you can then also have the option of putting this in manual. And it has those wonderful paddles like I was telling you. So very, very crisp through. You can hear the downshifts. And then as soon as you get on it, it goes. Another thing, the brakes. Wonderful brakes. Very good pedal feel. Very progressive. They're not grabby. It doesn't feel like it's snatching the rotors. It's a nice progressive feel that goes through the whole pedal movement. But we're back here at Walker Ford, and if you're ready, we're going to wrap it up. So see you in a second.
All right, guys, it's been one hell of a day here at Walker Ford. They just keep stepping up to the plate. Every time you guys have a request, if they have it, they bring it to Raity's Rides, and then I bring it to all of you. But, you know, at the end of the day, this 2018 Ford Raptor is an amazing, amazing truck. I highly recommend coming down to Walker Ford, or if you're unfortunately not in the center of Florida, get to your local Ford dealer, take one of these for a spin. It's going to change your mind about what a high performance truck is, because at the end of the day, this is for a certain type of truck owner. If you're looking for something that's going to haul a trailer and carry the most payload and all that kind of stuff, Ford probably has some other products for you. If you want something that has performance, you can do some towing, you can drive it on a daily basis, you can take it off-roading, and you have that name that means something, Ford Raptor, then obviously this is the one. But anyways, I want to give a big, huge thank you to Tracy, Benji, and everybody else at Walker Ford for allowing me to do this review on their Ford Raptor. If there's anything in particular you want to see on Raiti's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not hit that subscribe button, I'm going to say it again. What do I need to do to get you to hit that subscribe button? You tell me, and I will do it. That's straight up how it is. But anyways, for those who have been watching and have been subscribing since the get-go, thank you so much. We're almost up to 6,000 subscribers. It's been an amazing journey. I don't know where the hell it's going, but it's going one way, and that's up. And I'm very appreciative for all of you. If you have not checked out my website, raitiesrides.com, my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all Raiti's Rides, all original content, all the time, please check that out. I want to give a big, huge thank you to Chris for working the camera today, because without him, this would be nearly impossible. And like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.